All right, y'all, it is time for another convenient keto review, and this time it is Enlightened Ice Cream. Now, you probably already know Enlightened Ice Cream from them being the #2 brand, basically, of the diet ice cream in America behind Halo Top. But both the normal Halo Top and normal Enlightened are really realistically closer to like the 10-gram net carb range for a serving. That has changed recently because Enlightened just came out with these 1 gram net carb per serving flavors. So we will be getting into details here very soon, but this is pretty exciting because Enlightened is available in a lot of places, and it's really the first huge player to make an entrance into the actual keto ice cream, right? The normal Halo Top, normal Enlightened, they tend to be like the lower fat varieties, and they're not like the lowest sugar. Now they're like, okay, we're going full fat, low net carbs, 1 gram net carb, definitely low sugar. And so this collection, they are not messing around with any of the higher net carb. It's all 1 gram net carb, all full fat. They are taking the keto ice cream market and going head on into it. So let's take a closer look. So let's take a quick look at the flavors. Up top, we have butter pecan, and then we have chocolate glazed donut, chocolate peanut butter, red velvet, mint chocolate chunk, peanut butter fudge, and coffee and cream. I first read that as cookies and cream, got really excited, but no, it's actually coffee and cream. But either way, all the flavors are really decadent. Enlightened tastes really good. Everyone loves like the taste of Enlightened. So I think they are going to knock this out of the ballpark. Okay, so quick look at the nutrition facts. You see it's a 1/2 cup serving size, and there's 4 per container or in the pint. So just remember, it's 4 grams net carbs if you kill the entire pint. Still not a lot at all. The total fat is going to range between 15 and 18 grams and about 9 to 10 saturated across the various flavors. And for the sugar alcohols, we are at about 7 or 8 grams across the various flavors. So again, all pretty much very consistent. The big thing too for keto is the protein's low as well. It's 2 grams there. So you're not going to have just a ton of protein in your ice cream. So all looking good so far. Now there are a good number of ingredients here, so let's just break them down one by one. So like most of the other keto ice creams, the first ingredient is cream. So that's a good thing. Next is water, followed by erythritol, which is the sugar alcohol. There's a little bit of vegetable glycerin as well. That helps with the texture, and that contributes a little bit to the sugar alcohol count. But in general, the erythritol is going to be the main sweetener. We have egg yolks, which is normal. We see that in a lot of keto ice creams. And then you have a kind of a thickener / sweetener in this non-GMO soluble corn fiber. So you'll see a lot of other ones that have inulin / chicory root fiber. These tend to all be added to these various keto ice creams. Again, really the only one we have an issue with is tapioca fiber. So soluble corn fiber, inulin, chicory root, we are good there. That's going to contribute to the 2 grams of dietary fiber that they use in this calculation. This is the butter pecan flavor, so it has pecans, but the other ones will have things like chocolate and coffee and things like that. There's various natural flavors. The milk protein concentrate is, again, only 2 grams. Milk protein is better than the whey protein when it comes to keto, so that's good. They throw in some skim milk there, and then various gums, right? That's just for texture purposes. And then at the very bottom, I'm assuming it's for texture, we've got cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, but they are all, again, as vegetable oils, very low on the scale, right? Most of this fat is saturated, so I'm not thinking it's going to be too much because it's underneath all the gums. But lastly, butter, monk fruit extract just for a little bit of extra sweetness. And then in this particular one, there's salt because that helps to balance out the butter pecan. So again, very similar to a lot of the keto ice creams out there. The thing that stands out to me is the use of a lot of gums, vegetable glycerin, soluble corn fiber, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil. So all that stuff, in theory, should make the texture a little bit better. It just sounds like they threw in a bunch of stuff because they were worried about the texture. So let's see how that turns out. So let's take a look at the coffee and cream. This is the one that didn't have chunks or anything, so I just want to take a look at the texture. This has been sitting out for maybe 30 minutes, so again, it's one of those that doesn't melt right away like normal ice cream, so if you're not used to that, it's just something you got to look at and take into account. As you can see, the texture is pretty good. It's nice and creamy where it's melted, and it usually melts on the kind of on the sides. You can see the places that haven't melted, it's not as soft, right? But you can see here that it's kind of a nice, creamy texture. Yeah, so as you can see from this, it's definitely a creamier, richer, thicker, silkier, smoothier type of consistency versus kind of like that airy, fluffy kind of feel that some of the other ones, like a Keto Pint, might have. If you've had that brand before, this is definitely on the creamier side. So while we have the coffee and cream out, I'll just give a note on taste. It tastes really good. Again, never really had a lot of complaints about the taste of Enlightened. People love the taste generally. No exception here. The perfect amount of sweetness, good amount of coffee as well. Again, I compare it to like this Bush Noel coffee cake that I would used to eat for Christmas. It just has that kind of taste. It's real good. No complaints here. All right, here's the butter pecan. And man, as you can see, there's nice little pecan chunks in here. This tastes great. If you ever had like the Rebel butter pecan and maybe were left a little unsatisfied, this has that classic butter pecan flavor. I put it neck and neck with the Sola ice cream butter pecan. This is, they did a good job. I love it. All right, next up we have the mint chocolate chunk. And honestly, this is the closest thing I've ever had in the keto world to just your classic mint chip flavor. They got it right. Yeah, others have tried. You know, there's some that have like actual chocolate chips. These are like little shavings, little chunks. That's perfect. It's just like the classic one. So if you've been kind of feeling like the other ones haven't been hitting the spot for you, this one may do the trick. This stuff is great. All right, next up is red velvet. And man, take a look at the swirl. That looks beautiful as hell. Again, still super creamy. As you can see, you can kind of see it melt a little bit there, and that's kind of the texture. Of course, the sides melt quicker, but man, this is also classic. I think they have, yeah, they have a non-keto version of this, and it tastes just like it. Yeah, so there you go, red velvet. They have a non-keto version of this one. I mean, it tastes pretty similar to that. So if you like that version, this is going to be richer, you know, fattier, creamier, more decadent than the other one, which is great because it's red velvet. It should be. Next up is chocolate glazed donut. So we're in the chocolate zone, and you can see it's kind of a swirl kind of chocolate flavor. This looks really good. And here's a bit of that close up for the texture. And from a taste perspective, I don't really know how I feel about this one. To me, it doesn't taste like a chocolate glazed donut. That's for sure. There's maybe some chocolate liquor in here that's throwing me off a little bit. But this one tastes a little just whatever's to me. I don't know. I probably would have liked like a maple glazed donut or something here instead. But yeah, it just doesn't get that vibe from me. Not really sure how else to describe it. Honestly, just tastes a little bit like a chocolate protein bar, to tell you the truth. So, I generally don't like that taste. So that's probably what it is. Now on to our last two flavors. A little bit confusing. They're very similar. There's peanut butter fudge and then chocolate peanut butter. And if we look at the ingredients, they both have peanuts and Dutch cocoa. So what's the difference? It's basically one is chocolate ice cream on the right. It's the chocolate peanut butter one. And then the one on the left, it's kind of more like a... And then the one on the left is kind of more like a peanut butter ice cream with chocolate swirls. So really that's what the difference is. It's going to be interesting to see how these taste. So kind of hard to tell here, but this is the chocolate peanut butter. Chocolate ice cream with peanut butter little swirls. Again, hard to see. This to me tastes like a Reese's Pieces type of flavor. Really, really solid. All right, and this is the peanut butter fudge. And I just had a little bit of this. Again, it's the peanut butter ice cream with the chocolate. I guess if you value peanut butter over chocolate, you would choose this one. But in general, I mean, I just get kind of a very peanut buttery feel here versus the other one really is the one with the chocolate as the base really tastes like Reese's Pieces to me. That kind of really nice flavor. This is kind of like peanut heavy, and I don't know if I'm into that. And so that was it. I'll kind of go over these as my favorite. I got the mint and chip basically here, the butter pecan. Those are really great. Coffee and cream, red velvet, and chocolate peanut butter. Those, I think they just hit it out of the ballpark. These ones I'm iffy about. The chocolate glazed donut and the peanut butter fudge, but some of you might like that. So again, there is a lot of competition now in the keto ice cream space. Enlightened is definitely the most established player there. They compete with Halo Top on the regular, so for me, this is great because it's going to be available, and that's one of the kind of the biggest hindrances for people with keto ice cream is the availability. You're going to find Enlightened all over the place. We've seen it at Sprouts, Whole Foods, just pretty much everywhere. So that is definitely a win. Next thing is that these are all 1 gram net carb per serving, so 4 grams for the entire pint. They wanted to go low and they nailed it there, right? So only a few other ones can really compete at this level, like the Rebel Creamery, some of theirs are that low, but really this is a huge differentiator as well. Another thing is texture, right? Some of the keto ice creams, maybe like a Killer Whey or a Keto Pint, they have kind of like this light, fluffy, almost like creme brulee kind of texture. Enlightened, again, we talked about the gums, we talked about the oils that they put in there. So all those stabilizers, it's making it into a more rich, creamy type of texture rather than that lighter, fluffier texture. And also if you like swirls, chunks in your ice cream, all these have them, I think, except for the coffee and cream. But honestly, I wouldn't want them to mess up. I've seen people put chocolate chips into the coffee and cream ice cream. It just doesn't do it for me. Coffee and cream tastes great. Most people drink coffee with cream, right? So I don't think it's weird that there's no texture like extra swirl or chunk there. Tastes just fine to me. So again, price and availability, I think is key here. It's going to be available all over the nation in the brick and mortar. They also sell on Amazon as well, which is crazy. But a lot of the keto ice creams do. I think the big differentiator is being able to find this in many more places around the nation, hopefully at your local grocer, so you can try them out and not have to pay like an exorbitant amount for shipping and all that good stuff. So yeah, wrapping up, it's all very exciting, really great for keto. Who knows? Will Halo Top respond with their own Keto Collection? Only time will tell, but you have a lot now. You got Enlightened, Killer Whey, Keto Pint, Rebel, Sola. It's all over the place. You have so many options. What a time to be alive, right? Anyways, thanks again for watching, y'all. Hope you like this. If you have any questions or anything like that, just hit us up and we can try to answer it for you. But I think, again, at the availability and probably at the normal price point that they're at, this is going to be really, really great for a lot of people out there. So thanks again for watching. We'll catch you later. All right, y'all. We are really